to juggle this and Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah, yeah. I've been working on both a little bit.
Can you talk about the format of the show versus the film?
Oh, I think it's going to be a lot different from the film. We spend a lot of time with the family. We're sort of like the conflicting interests for the Jennifer Love Hewitt character. Georgia Cummings, who run the rub, is sort of like another voice to juxtapose her mom's voice. So I think the character is a little bit stronger than it was in the film. And a lot of the things that happened in the film, I'm not sure they're going to happen on this. They've been able to stretch and pull everything in sort of a different direction. I think that's what they're trying to do to make it more palatable for the women that are watching it, because it is the Women's Network. Yeah.
So what are we getting to learn about the characters? Is there anything that surprised you that you didn't see coming in the show versus the film?
Well, first of all, the woman that ran the spa in the film was white, so that's a little different. What you think?
Well, yes, yeah. But I meant personality-wise, like if they're changing the character a lot.
And so it's I think it's a total change of cultures, I think, and input. Mm-hmm. Also, a Notorious character is a black character, which is a different, and she's a young girl that all of the major women that are working in the spa, they have different specific personality things. She's engaged to be married, and her lover is not aware of what's going on in her life. So there are these different points that they're hitting. I think that different women could say that could be a problem that I would have. So there are discussions on things that you would or would not do with your man. Those sort of issues are brought up. A lot of the things that her mother I feel totally opposite from. So there's that conflict that's going on with that as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't think a lot of those things were in the movie. So these are things that'll be in the series.
We find out a little bit about Georgia in the pilot and her life.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be explored a little more? Are we going to get to see her at home? Maybe?
Do you really think they tell actors those kinds of things?
You
all should be interviewing the writers. Well, when they presented the show to me, those were some of the things they talked to me about, the relationship with the husband and some of the things that were possible to happen, but you never know if they're going to actually happen until they do. So I'd hate to say that they were and they didn't happen. Yeah, we're surprised. It's almost like with every show I've ever worked in, you don't know from week to week what exactly is going to happen with the character. You just hope that you're in it. You just don't know from week to week.
Do you think that the show is going to cover issues of there are issues of objectification of women versus empowerment and just sort of the general morality of what's going on?
I think there'll be controversy because it's about doing something illegal. There's that to deal with, but there are also a lot of other issues. And I think what makes a drama good is that there are issues that are very strong, that people have very strong opinions about. I think there will be a lot of women that have very strong opinions about this, and we'll just have to see what wins out. The important thing, I think, is to get people to watch it. And I think if we can get through a season, they'll be able to bring up and bring in a lot of things that are important. But you do get a chance to look at a lot of different types of relationships. There's a relationship with her kids and some of the things that are happening with them. There's a relationship with the husband's family, his brother, and the fact that the way he feels about her. Then the mother later has which is older couples in love, which is rare to see on television. But I think some of those things will be happening.
So what was it about the role that made you gravitate towards her?
Well, one of the main things is you want to continue working, and that was one of the main things. But I rarely get a chance to play roles like this. You always end up playing. I've played a lot of mothers, moms, just about everybody in the business, and this had a different flavor to it. I played secretaries and judges and things like this, but to play a woman that owns her own business and is the overseer for 20 or more women in a business that's thriving, and the way she's doing it, it just seemed like it was a good chance to engage a different level of acting or a different, part of myself that people haven't seen.
Is there a specific issue, like women's issue, you hope the show explores?
No, I don't. I try not to dwell on the writing. I just try to deal with what they present me with and make it as good as possible, as believable as possible. So, people will say that's something I want to see.
We have time for 2 more questions. And she seems to be a little bit younger than your Grace character, and she has a memory. So, as an actress, is it important for you to stay younger so that you can work longer?
Oh, you are the age you are, and I think that the makeup department, the costume department, sort of just had so much to do with your look. In this show, Dorothy Amos, Dottie, we call her, is the one that creates the look for Georgia, and I love the look because you get a little leg, a little breast, and stuff that I've never been able to show in my other roles. So if that makes you look younger, yay!
Well, sexier then, right?
Okay, sexier. I guess sexier would be a good way to put it. Yeah, because a lot of times you play asexual roles, and I've played asexual roles, which is no sex. Your mom. And that's that. Yeah.
Can you talk about the format of the show, more specifically in episode 1? It sets up the story, but is it going to be more of a serialized or a procedural-like feel to it?
Well, from what I know from doing the first 4 or 5 is that each show is self-contained. I mean, there is some continuation, but when you watch the show, you see shows where you have to see it has a through line for whatever happens. You have to watch all 10 to enjoy the show. That's not happening with this. Each episode, I think, is contained and within itself has a beginning and an end, but it does leave you a little question on to make you want to come and see the next one. I think there's always something at the very end that you go, oh God, is that going to be like that? For instance, we have one of the girls in the spa. It's all about the dollar, making money. That's her only concern, and she becomes very competitive at a point in the show, and she's like the bad girl. So you really wonder what havoc is she gonna continue to cause, because she's always getting into trouble. So there are those kind of things and whether one girl is really going to get married or is something going to happen that's going to break up her relationship. I have a husband that ran off, and you're always wondering, will Jennifer Love Hewitt's husband come back, or is there going to something happen with the brother, those kind of things. But each show has a theme in it that is addressed, and you go from middle to end by the show's end. You get an answer.